plants that I grow. There's a lot of plants that I do grow, but I don't grow them too successfully, like Escananthus, Nematanthus. I have them home, but they really don't do well for me. I grow Primulinas, Streps, Sinningias. Those are my favorite plants. I'd like to go over, first we'll start with Sinningia. This is Sinningia flare. This is a rape oil hybrid. It's a lovely plant. I smell it, I smell some fragrance, but a lot of people don't. Claire, would you like to sniff?
Yes.
You smell a little fragrance?
A
very light fragrance. So which means it's fragrance. I don't...
See if I can smell it.
I smell very light.
Very slight, but
Very slight? You
Yeah.
do? Okay. When I go down to the plant room, I just pick it up and I shove it in my nose and I smell it right away.
Well, it might have just been watered or a nice warm condition.
Yeah.
This plant is growing a little
I have this
crazy. This was picked off. This was picked up off the table, and it was. It should be clipped. If anybody wants cuttings of this, because I'm going to cut it all the way down, and I'm just going to grow it up. It does have a tuba, which is developing, and I'm going to cut it all down. So if anybody wants anything before we go.
What? I'm sorry.
Yeah, you want to move? Why don't you guys move up?
No, we're good.
Now,
Can
you see clear?
Yes. Before I say I would love a piece, how demanding is it for water?
You're in front of this camera. No, it doesn't. It's not. It's fine.
So it could like dry out a little bit
could
and
dry
still
out.
bounce back?
But right now, when you root it, I would suggest you put it into a covered container
Right.
somehow, because it'll make a tuba. It always blooms. It blooms. It blooms. It blooms, and it's got. I still say it has a fragrance. This thing was covered with flowers. It's actually
You
done.
would smell.
Yeah.
And you could really smell it. I mean, you
Yeah.
go. I smell it.
I would like
Levy
a
didn't
piece.
smell it.
I didn't smell
I smell it. Okay. Next one I'd like to go to is Kohlerias. Kohlerias are really easy to grow. It's got nice, they're very rewarding. Now if you want to look, you can see all the rhizomes that are forming on the bottom of the plant.
Yeah.
These are all right, and these rhizomes, you put them, see they just come out of the ground, and they're all forming, see Claire?
Yes, yes, yes.
Sylvia, look at all those rhizomes.
They look like
Oh,
big
wow.
giant worms.
They really came up.
And the flowers are very nice, and the
Mhm.
leaves are very dark. And this is very strange with this Kohlerias. Usually Kohlerias, when you cut them, they don't branch out. This one branched. If you can see, I cut it, and it
Yeah.
made 3 branches, so strange plant. But I like this plant. This always blooms. It's always in bloom. Before you know it, another crown is showing up, and it starts blooming. It's a nice plant to grow. It grows a little high, I guess, because where it is, but it's a nice plant. I'll try to bring it, I'm going to try to grow it for the show, but who knows. Then we go to Deinostigma. Deinostigma,
Oh, okay.
it used to be Primulina tamiana.
Okay, wait.
Used to be Primulina tamiana.
Is now
Oh, yeah.
Deinostigma?
It's Deinostigma tamiana.
Interesting.
It's a very nice plant to grow, always in bloom. There'll be leaves available for anybody who would like to grow it. I'm going to do a little prop to prop some of these things and show you how I do it. There's a million ways of doing things. I'll just show you how I do it.
Okay, so
Okay, this is. It used to be Sharita, now it's Primulina. Deinostigma.
So now I actually own a Deinostigma.
You do. The next one I'd like to go to is Streps. Streptocarpus. This is white gold. Grows quite small. And it's always in bloom. Dale Martin's hybrid. Very rewarding plant to grow. Doesn't need a lot of attention.
But it can't dry out, right?
Well, it doesn't like to. Nothing likes to dry out, Claire.
Charitas do.
This is purple panda. Very easy plant to grow. You want a picture of it?
No, it's good to.
Very, very easy plant to grow. Grows quite small. It's compact.
Pretty.
A lot of people say, oh, it's immature. But with a head of bloom like that, how immature it is. To me, I like it. It blooms nice.
It's probably a millennial.
A who?
Millennial. Acts immature, but.
Another strep. This one grows quite large, but it's got a beautiful head of bloom.
That is very
That's
good.
lovely.
Okay? The rocks don't belong there. You can't put that in the show with rocks. But it's a nice plant.
What was the panda's name again?
Purple
Purple
panda.
What's the
This
function
is
of the rocks?
Excuse me?
What's the function of the rocks?
So the pot doesn't fall over.
Ah,
So it's just to hold it down in place. Sometimes I have a big plant, and no matter what I put in it, it always folds over. So you put rocks in the bottom of the pot, and that'll keep your plant from falling over.
Right.
So there's a lot of tricks if you're showing something. But this plant is not really show quality. It's just got a lot of nice bloom. And I like bloom, so it doesn't make about, this should be repotted, scented in the pot, etc., etc. You see it's like off-center. It needs to be repotted. The last time this was repotted was in June 19th. So it's been in the pot a while. And you notice I use a label. See my label? Everything is labeled. I don't use those other labels because they interfere with the growth of the plant. So I use that little plastic label, that little electric tape.
White electric tape.
Now we go to my favorites. My favorites are, as you can see, Primulina.
Primulinas.
Okay. This is Primulina longigensis, which grows upright. It has a nice little flower. And it grows quite upright, and then it branches out. You see it's branching out? It'll start branching out after a while. And if you get it really full, which you need some room for it because it grows quite wide. So I just grow it like this. I just like it. It blooms. It's fine.
Now will you remove that?
Well, it needs to be repotted. This has been, last March, this was put in this pot, so it needs to go up. I'm gonna remove this little guy off of here.
Yeah, you would, and
So,
just keep it single.
Like I said, if anybody wants leaves or plants, I give them a piece of it. I bought baggies. This is USBRG 98-083. Okay, also something that has to be repotted. It's been in the pot for quite a while. It's been in here since September 10th, 2017.
Oh, jeez.
So I think it's dying to get moved. You can really tell when it's doing it because she gets these little red endings. That's a little stress that the plant is going to. But this blooms like crazy. When it starts blooming, it just shoots up blooms and the flowers come out all the way out to here. And it just goes around in a circle. It's a really nice plant.
What color are the flowers?
They're pinky, whitey, whatever. Right, Claire? You know them. You have this thing. But it really grows nice.
Probably a lighter lavender.
This is Primulina youngfuensis. This has been in this pot since February. It needs to be also repotted.
That's Primulina what?
Youngfuensis. It grows multiple crown most of the time. It's a lovely plant to grow. It needs to be repotted. It should be put in the next size pot up. Doesn't like to be put in a big pot. It just likes to be a little
Likes to
pot
be
bed.
bound.
And I'm sure when I take it out of here, it's going to bloom. I'm almost positive. I can tell. The next one I have over here is a lovely, lovely plant to grow, and I also could give leaves on this. This is it's still got the tag in it. That's never been taken out of this pot. This was put in here on, I think, February 2nd. So it's been in this pot quite a while. This is Jade Moon, lovely plant. And I see it makes little, so I guess they're gonna go all around and make them. There's another one growing out of here. So I like to see what it develops into. There's 3 offsets already. There's another one there. So if they go around in a circle, it's gonna really look nice. So I'm gonna pot this up I'm gonna take off some more leaves now. If anybody would like some leaves, I have baggies.
Looks like you haven't repotted in a long time.
I know.
What have you been doing down in that room?
We don't ask those things in public now.
I take care of my violets. They're very attentive. This is Nemesis, which is a Peter shallot hybrid, but it makes beautiful bloom. I won best in show at the Gesneriads show with it. It made 5 flower stalks. It had 5 flower stalks, all in bloom. And you can see how many blooms there are in there.
Yeah.
There's about 6 or 7 or 8, and they were all in flower. It was a beautiful plant. But it's green, so when it's not in bloom, it's not really a plant that you put in the show.
Is there a general rule of thumb when you need to repot a Primulina? Because they grow in cracks in the rock, so they're kind of...
Well, you know, I like to repot everything in the year because I think the soil gets wasted, it gets more acidic, and these plants like to be a little bit on the alkaline side. So, my soil mix is very alkaline. I put a lot of
Dolomite line.
dolomite. In fact, my soil mixture is 5 parts of coffee can size, like this, 5 parts of peat moss sphagnum, peat moss farfet, which is the best peat moss on the market. And I use 4 parts of perlite and 3 parts of vermiculite. And to that I put 5 tablespoons of dolomite lime. For every coffee can of that size, though, I put a whole tablespoon of. Now, don't take what I do because everybody's water is different. My water is New York City water. It happens to be a little acidic, and the peat moss is acidic, so I do that to offset. So dolomite lime is slow release, and it helps the plants out. They last a little longer. But Gesneriads are easy to grow. Everything you're looking at stuff here, it's all easy to grow. I don't pay a lot of attention to these plants, like you can see. They've been in the pots for 2017. It's been in the pot. I mean, it's still functioning. They're still good. I water every 5 to 7 days. Primulinas usually take 7 days, but some of the small violets like 5. Does anybody have any questions before I go further? Okay, I'm going to show how I propagate. Like I said, there's leaves available for anything you see here. Here's a flare.
I was just thinking the same thing.
This is what I use. I use perlite, vermiculite, in combination for my potting mix. This is my soil mix. This is what my soil mix looks like. It's a pretty light mix. It's not a very heavy mix, and it's good for me. I don't know about everybody else. Okay. This was grown from a leaf, so this got all little babies in it. Okay. This is a leaf that I put down. This is pupure, Primulina pupure. You can see a little plant coming
crown,
up.
yeah.
I see it.
Little baby.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, now all you want to do with these plants is it's very, very simple. I'm going to take a leaf. And what I do is, I take the leaf and I cut it on a slant.
Wait.
Because that increases the surface of rooting and also the surface of the young plants to come up. So if you cut it on a slant, it has a better chance of rooting. And then after it roots, I take it and I cut the top of the leaf off. So the leaf, because this leaf will continue to grow and not make babies. You don't want that. You want babies. You don't want the leaf to grow. So you just give it a shot like this.
Yes.
The leaf will stop growing. It'll produce babies. So that's what you want to do. Okay? And then after I get some children, I put them into little pots. I start with these. These for basically when I do my violets, they go in a little shot glass like this, and then they go into
Big.
a tray, something like that.
Yeah.
You know, it'll just go into a tray and sit over there. And this way, you don't have a big plant growing, taking up a lot. You can do what you want with this plant. It'll stay in this little pot for a while, and then when you're ready to pot it up, you just take it out and pot it up. It's very simple. And I do a progression on for violets and for everything else that I grow. My pots progress.
You know, if you don't have little plastic pots, but you drink Keurig, clean out the little Keurig
Yeah.
pots.
Well,
Yeah, we have a
if you
hole.
notice over there, somebody got a plant that's in a Keurig pot. Where is that plant?
I don't know.
Oh, maybe
Is it one of these?
It's either Sylvia.
No,
How about
it's
you?
not
You in a
me.
Keurig?
Not me.
Is that in
This one is.
yeah, that's in a Keurig pot.
And it already has a hole in it.
Yeah. Well, I put more holes because I like.
Yeah, but.
Put more holes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's a species, by the way.
Huh?
That's a species,
Okay.
and it's making flowers already. But that's a Keurig pot. Anyway, I progress, and as you progress, your plant gets bigger. So that's basically like it. And in the pot comes screening. Show you what I put on the bottom of the pot. The pot gets a piece of screening, so I put about a half inch to an inch of perlite at the bottom of the pot, and I water on the saucer. Everything is watered on the saucer.
Everything's watered.
I grow everything on a saucer.
on.
Okay, so you put the perlite in there, then you put your plant in your soil, and it sits on the saucer, and you water from the bottom. To me, this is what I do. Some people wick. I'm not too successful with wicks because the wicks get green and who knows what else. And besides, if you don't watch the water, you have to keep on emptying it out because the water builds up. If you keep on adding water, all the water is evaporating and you're building up a lot of fertilizer. And it's not healthy for the plant. And I find that this is easy for me. I just take the whole thing, I throw it in and it's done. And
I find it easier because I fill the tray with water.
yeah, or you put it on a tray, you put it on a matting. You
Yeah.
put it on matting or anything,
Yeah.
something like that, and you just put the pot on it. The only when you have a community watering like that, if you have soil mealybug or something, everybody's got soil
Yeah.
mealybug. This way it's going to find its own little watering thing and it's not going to go anywhere.
I find it's, I
Easier
don't
for
worry
you.
about how much water I give. I fill up that.
Well, I do, I have a spray system that irrigation system, a watering wand that I use, but I haven't been using, I've been using a watering can with a long neck,
Mhm.
Yeah.
and I just fill up the soil, it's a lot faster. I get done watering in about an hour. All the plants get watered.
What's the watering wand attached to?
It's attached to a little pump, a goldfish pond pump.
Okay.
So I just put that at the bottom of a 5-gallon container. I have a hose attached to it, and I have the watering wand, and I just plug it in, turn it on, and I'm watering like crazy. And it's good for my small plant, all my minis, like them, all my minis, I just water with the wand, because you don't want to get in there with the watering can, break the leaves and whatnot. So it goes right, it fits right underneath there, and don't bother anybody, and it's pretty fast. You can do the whole thing, but I find it faster with the watering can. That's why I use the watering.
I used to use a wand, but then the long cord of plastic tubing,
Right.
and just got so filled with foam.
Well, I have a green, like a
You have the green one.
green tube, so it's,
See, I had a clear one, and you could see.
yeah, the
all
clear
that.
one, everything gets green.
Yeah.
So I skeeve that, so I just get crazy. But anyway, Gesneriads are fun to grow. Everybody should grow Gesneria. You should try propagating some Gesneria. I'll give you some, take some leaves home and try it. It's very, very simple. If you don't have vermiculite and perlite available, you can use your regular potting soil. Just put more perlite. Just don't make it as heavy. Try to put it over a dome in a plastic bag or something, and I guarantee you're gonna get some babies. And you could Awesome. These things are fun to grow.
Ace by my house actually sells perlite and vermiculite, so I was rather surprised that they have it in stock.
Well, that's good. Who's the?
Ace,
Oh,
the
Ace.
hardware store.
Ace Hardware?
Yeah.
Is it a good heavy perlite? I like a heavier
Well,
perlite.
perlite is,
The
you can
perlite, some of it's
find
like dust.
decent perlite, it's the vermiculite that's.
Well,
The
more
vermiculite is
dust.
decent, the perlite is a little bit
Yeah, the
small.
perlite sometimes gets very like this. See, this is.
Yeah.
This isn't the best perlite around.
By the way, never inhale that, it'll go into your lungs
Yeah,
and
I
it'll never
know.
come out.
I get the perlite I have really doesn't have a lot of dust. I go all the way out to
Granger,
Kuchas?
what is that? Where do we?
Kuchok?
I have the, actually, I have the.
Oh, it's far.
Yeah, that's where you go. I think that's where,
That's
is that where you go, Kuchok?
Yep.
It's
Where-
Griffin's,
where-
right?
Griffin's Supply.
Griffin's greenhouse.
This is what I'm
in,
talking about. The matting.
Connecticut.
If you do, put it on a little matting and it has
Okay.
a cover.
Oh, okay.
Montauk
This I
Highway.
bought, I think in, I think they were $1.99 in Home Depot. It has a nice little cover that goes
Montauk
on
Highway, it says Brookhaven.
and you're all set. I put a few holes in it to get some air
It's
out,
way out.
but it works out fine.
There's a professional dome over there.
There's a professional dome that fits over a little container
The property
Let me
line
borrow yours.
is.
and it goes over it has a tray and it goes right over it and it's got little vents. It has vents.
Yeah, I have a couple of those from, I bought from John.
Yeah, from John Cook. And it's got a little vent in the top, it's very good. These are very nice. I have a few home, they're very nice.
I don't know.
Any other questions? No?
That was good.
That one,
I recognize a lot of your techniques that Joe used to do. what you
You know,
do.
not.
It's just a way of doing it. Everybody has a different way. And
Well,
as far as, I wanted
Well, I
to,
think he learned a lot of those techniques that,
oh, I just picked it up from everybody.
yeah, well, he picked them up from you, I'm
A
sure.
lot of people take a strep leaf and they chop it all up into pieces. I have a problem with that because my pieces just dry out. So what I do is I take the whole leaf.
You do it along the vein?
No, I don't do anything like that.
Oh,
I
okay.
take the whole leaf, I do my little cut. I also chop the top of the leaf off now, as opposed to later. I take that, I put vermiculite and perlite in, and I stick the leaf in there. I'm guaranteed 2 or 3 babies. I don't need 500 babies and all kinds of these little leaves that take forever to develop. This will develop quite quickly. Inside of a month and a half, you'll have babies.
How deep do you put it down in the
I
soil?
put it down about up to here. That's what goes in there. Put a little something to prop it. 'cause-
Half an inch.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and just put it in there, and put it in the dome, and you'll get babies. I can't do this cutting up with the veins and everything else, because what
You
happens,
also don't want 500 little plants.
and I don't need
That's what you
500
get on
plants, I
those.
only want 2 or 3.
Right, yeah.
And the other thing is, they dry out and shrivel up. Some of them rot. If you give them too much water, they rot. If you don't give them enough, they dry out. You know, and half the time, if it dries out a little bit, the leaf falls over. So this way, it's not going anywhere. It's in there. It's going to grow. Okay, you don't have that problem.
I mean, some people take the whole vein, long leaf.
No,
Just cut
yeah.
along the vein, stick it on.
Too much work.
Way too many little
Too many
babies that get
techniques
thrown
for
out.
what? And then you get all these little. What do you need all this stuff?
Yeah.
I mean, I bring them in. How many plants can you bring in? How many plants are people going to buy? You know?
I buy a lot.
So.
I kill 'em.
Anybody else questions? Okay, if you want leaves, I'm here. Let me know what you want. I have baggies. I have baggies and I
I
have
want
like.
one of those nice smelling syringes.
Okay, you want to fit in
I want a syringe.
I got my 2 plants, lucky if they'll
I have to be
get care.
careful what I take because I'm going to young for some.
You going where?
I got into all of this because of my husband. It's
She's
his
going-
fault.
I'm going to Yonkers right from here.
Oh, well.
And my daughter found
And a lot of, you know, like the labeling tips with using What is
It's
that
gonna
called?
take you 5 hours to get to Yonkers?
No, I'm gonna be up there.
Oh.
I forget, but take.
going for lobster. What do you
electrical
think?
tape or
Oh,
something. That was his idea,
Yeah,
and that's
we
what
went
my
last
husband
week and my
did
sister
too. I
told
guess
me,
he
yeah.
learned a lot from this Joe.
Do you
They
want
were
to
both
play for
named
not being able
Joes.
to have lobster?
Okay, one thing before we go, we're gonna help out Levy.
Okay.
Oops, I almost broke his plant. It came out of the
You
pot.
better not.
Oh, what's wrong with Levy's plant?
It has 2 crowns.
No, Levy.
Oh, sorry.
What's wrong with Levy's plant?
It looks like
beautiful,
a
isn't it?
sailing
Nice.
ship that's
Yeah,
going
how
down.
come
It's
it's
got
two
two big
different
things,
plants?
got two things on the side.
Yeah.
It's, yeah,
Two
Yeah.
plants,
it's 2 plants side by side.
Okay, what should Levy do?
We
separated.
should separate it.
How should he do that? There's 2 different crowns, you should separate it, Levy.
Yeah,
Take it
I
out
probably
of
That's
the
a
pot.
good
chop
Does
it down.
anybody know the name of this beautiful plant? It's really nice.
Cut it with a knife.
Yeah, that's what he's gonna do. Look at that bloom. Really
Beautiful.
nice.
It's nice.
I just didn't have space under a dome. I bought 7 of them, so now I'll have space.
7.
7 of those domes, yeah.
Well, you can make, you don't need this under a dome. So just, when you cut it, you'll put it under a dome for a little while. Once it gets a little rooted, then just take it out. You don't need it under a dome. But this is gonna be a nice plant. It's got
What
lots-
causes that? I don't know what it's on the leaf. That browning.
That's just a little stress. How long has it been in here?
Since I got it, I bought it at the show in the Gesneriads show last year.
Okay, so it's been in there a year almost.
Yeah, yeah.
And it was, I don't know what kind of pot it was in. It was probably in the same
Probably
pot.
in that pot.
Yeah.
It just went, it's too big for the pot.
Yeah.
It needs help. Just take the best crowns and put them down, and you'll be fine. You got like 2 plants in there, maybe 3.
Maybe 3.
But it's a nice, but take all the bloom off, all the bloom goes. You have to take everything off, sorry, Levy.
Okay.
And then you'll repot it and then she'll bloom again for you.
Mhm.
Take off some leaves, just take a nice basic crown. You don't have to be big, it could go into a smaller pot. You don't need to have it in the same size pot. But it's a nice plant, I like the plant.
Yeah.
Very pretty.
You can have leaves if you want.
I'm gonna
You can have a
take
crown
some.
if you want.
Nope, I don't want a crown, I will take a leaf.
He's dropping leaves everywhere he walks, so.
Not me. It's Levy.
Yeah, they
Here, I
perform.
got one of Levy's here.
Down.
Levy, I'm gonna take 2 leaves from you.
Okay.
We're gonna call the plant Levy.
Levy's surprise.
Okay, anybody want leaves?
Yeah, I'll take a leaf from that one.
You want a leaf of what? Levy?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if he's giving them out.
You can take.
He's very generous and kind.
No, it's
Yes, he
not. Are you
is.
generous and kind?
Yes,
Is that right?
Yes.
Yes, sure.
He's very
Is he
generous.
taping all this?
Yes, I am.
That's why he said he was generous. Turn off the camera. Oh, no.
Funny.
Well, come on, get some bags and come on, step up.
Only when he turns off the camera.
Oh, you don't want to be seen?
Nope.
Oh, there's the lady with that voice. What do you want, Claire?
I want your sweet smelling one.
Sweet Sam over here?
Yeah.
There's already one in the bag.
There's one in the bag.
Yeah, but does anybody else want a piece of this? No? No?
I want that.
It goes to the, it goes to her?
Goes to me. It has a name on it already?
Yes.
You said that.
Okay, anybody else want to try some?
No, you want something.
Maybe next time.
You don't have to if you don't want to, but you can take it. Anybody you want some of this? You want to try this?
No.
Which one is that again?
I have this, I got this panda here.
This I can't take.
Oh, yes, the panda, purple panda.
Purple
purple
panda. Here, make a
I
leaf.
gotta see.
Here, purple panda. Anybody else
Is
want
this purple panda?
Anybody else want a piece of purple panda?
Yeah, the
Do you have any labels?
purple panda.
Yes, the labels are there someplace. Now you know what you gotta do with this, right?
Tell me again.
Where is it?
Joe's so good to us.
Where is it?
Here, right here.
There it is. This is purple panda.
And and that's strep.
Put it in, root it.
No, he's staying in the office.
Going up, having lobster,